Hi, my name is Luis. Today's date is August 27, 2025. My time is 4 p.m. 4 p.m. I am located in the United States, the state of Florida, great state of Florida, city of Ormond Beach. Today's video is going to be an introduction on what is the difference between visual astronomy and astrophotography. Just an introduction, something real quick, without going in any detail, something real quick to have an overview. All right, visual astronomy is when you're using your naked eye at night and you look at the moon, for example, or other celestial bodies. It might be Jupiter, a star, the North Star, whatever. Once you are seeing during that time at night, let's take for example the moon. You know, that's your normal eyesight, and you use your eyes to explore the celestial objects that way. During the day, you cannot do that because you cannot look at the sun straight. I mean, you can look at the sun straight, but you will get your eyes hurt. Severe visual impairment. Be careful with that. I did it when I was a kid anyway. And look at me using glasses now. But anyway, visual astronomy at night, you're looking at the sun, you're just using your eyes. I believe, according to my real quickie research, your eyes has like an 130 degree this way and 200 degrees this way. Now, there's the farther you are, the less resolution. You basically look more clear in a range. Let me check out my notes here. The range is 40 to 60 degrees. 40 to 60 degrees, I don't know if it's up or down or something like that, is when you actually see with more resolution. And the resolutions are measured, if I'm not mistaken, the unit of measure is DAWS, D-A-W-E-S, DAWS resolution for the eyesight. Because when you're looking, for example, to a telescope and you see the planet Saturn, which is very small, but you can really see little details there because your eye resolution is very high or very, it's good, it's clear. When you see the same planet on an imaging camera and you compare, it's not the same resolution. It's a different unit called Rayleigh or Rayleigh. R-A-Y-L-E-I-G-H. Rayleigh. So there's two different types of units. That's why when you're using visual astronomy or you're using binoculars or telescopes, got a telescope there or telescope there, you can see right there. There's a telescope there. Oh my God. There we go. Right there. The telescope. When you're using those instruments, the field of view changes. It's more narrow. And if you're using visual astronomy, you still can see the objects, and then you see more details. And it's that's the way it's going to happen. Now, that's visual astronomy. One way to do visual astronomy, like I said before, is using just your eyes, naked eyes during the night. The second type of visual astronomy is with instruments, which is binoculars. Once you look at the stars or the moon using binoculars, the field of view changes compared with the naked eye. It changes, it's more narrow, and you can see the objects more close using binoculars. And there's different types, of course. You're going to see different, the moon is going to be changes in sizes, but I'm not going to go in those details, just to give you an overview. So first time, what? Eye naked during the night. Remember, you're at night looking at the sky. It's clear, the sky is clear. There's no clouds. There might be some clouds, I don't know. Visual astronomy using eye naked. The second method, what? Using binoculars, right, using the binoculars. The third method, using the telescope. And there's different types of telescope. There we go. Different type of telescope, and the field of view is going to change too. But with the telescope, it's more powerful. You're getting more close to the object. Oh my God, I got the camera there. There we go, getting blurry. So that's the third method, telescopes. And we're only talking about visual astronomy only. Now, let's talk about astrophotography. When you go into the astrophotography realm or astrophotography world, things gonna change because you're gonna be taking pictures and images of the celestial objects, and the resolution is not the same as visual. It changes. You have to use the telescope in different ways. When you purchase, for example, when you purchase a telescope for visual, you got the eyepieces, all right, and you got different eyepieces. The telescope already had a certain focal ratio. If you want to get closer, you use Barlow lens. Once you put Barlow lens, which is like a lens to get the object more close, you get closer to the object, but you're still using your eyes with the Barlow lens, still using your eyes, and you see the object fine, more closer and details. I've been having problems with Barlows when I use it for astrophotography, because sometimes Barlows, it gives you that punch to get the object close, but it's not that clear. And in my opinion, at this moment, and if somebody's listening to me and it has more information, in my opinion, using Barlow for astrophotography, it works, yeah, but it doesn't work that well for the astrophotography part. For the visual part, definitely it's gonna work. As a matter of fact, I'm using some Barlow lens for some visual telescope to capture the sunspots in the moon. Remember, when you're using the moon, you need filters. And the sunspots, they come pretty nice. They came pretty nice, you know. But it could be more clear if I use other methods. So Barlow is a little gray area there. Yeah, definitely Barlow lens are good for visual. Definitely yes. But for astrophotography, it's a gray area there. Now, for astrophotography, when you're using the instruments for astrophotography, you got other lens, which is the reducer or corrector lens, which changes the focal ratio of the telescope, and it gives you more clear images. For purposes of, it could be for visual too, of course, but for purpose of astrophotography, it's gonna fit well. Either reducer lens or hyperstar lens, which is another type of lens, and it gives you a wider field of view. So, in summary, comparing visual astronomy and astrophotography. Visual astronomy, you use your naked eye at night, or either you use binoculars. There we go. Either use binoculars or you use telescopes. When you go to astrophotography, you use cameras. You're gonna install cameras, and then you're gonna use certain types of lenses to get more clear images too. And this is the main idea on this introduction. So you get an idea how that works. And the reason I'm talking about this video is because at the beginning I was mixing the visual techniques with the imaging, and I got problems when I was buying Barlow lens, when I buy the camera, and I was getting some concept confusing there, mixing, and then through the time, then I start realizing, oh, I was thinking wrong. This is, you have to have your mind set either for visual astronomy and use certain instruments in a certain way, and then when you do astrophotography, it's a different thinking there. And that's the reason I want to do this introduction. Anybody there that got some inputs in your experience, please be welcome. Put it on the post here so I can learn from you too. Other than that, clear skies, and I'll see you next.